Don't be sad, 'cause 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Now don't be sad. Don't be sad. Hey everyone, this is Kelly. Thanks for joining me. I guess I can put this down now. If you're joining me for the first time today, let me introduce myself. My name is Kelly, and I'm the Activities Coordinator for JABA's Adult Care Center. So, welcome to Kelly's Kitchen. And for those of you joining me again, thank you for returning. And if you are here, I'd love to see your comments. So feel free to type comments on the screen and let me know that you're around. So the reason why I was singing that song, I don't know if any of you recognized it, but that came from an artist back in the day called Meat Loaf. And you guessed it, the reason why I sang that is because I am making Mom's meatloaf today. Now, this is a very simple recipe. Give me just a minute, I'm going to try to get a bigger screen here. All right, well, I guess not. So I am going to make meatloaf, as I said. And this is a very special recipe. I feel like it's a good recipe to start with today because it is one of those comfort foods. And I feel like we all kind of need some comfort food right now. So, like I said, I like to try to make my recipes as easy as possible so that you can do it at home. And it's also full of ingredients that you may already have in your house. So we already had a lot of ground beef in our freezer, so I'm going to use that ground beef and make life easy. So to start, we have to wash our hands. So I'm going to step over to my sink and wash my hands, especially for this recipe because I'm going to be using my hands a lot. And for those of you just tuning in this week, you should know that 2 of my favorite things are singing and working in the kitchen. So you may hear another jingle or two while I'm preparing this meal. And feel free to sing along at home, especially for our members that I can't be with personally right now. I just enjoyed so much doing our karaoke and sing-alongs at the center. So if you want to sing along at home, I would love that. As a matter of fact, I am feeling kind of nostalgic with this particular recipe because it is my mother's recipe, and I do miss my mother. She lives out of state, so this will be dedicated to her. And that, of course, brings a song to mind. I'm not sure if you were aware, but last Friday was Doris Day's birthday. So this is a song that my mother always sang to me when I was a little girl, and I in turn started singing it to my daughters after they were born at bedtime or whenever we just wanted to have some fun. Oh, hi, Nancy. I'm so glad you came back. Welcome back. All right, if you know this song, sing along with me, just a little tidbit of it. When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Here's what she said to me. Que sera, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, what will be, will be. And I think that's kind of the way we're all feeling now anyway. What will be, right? We just take it one day at a time. So without further ado, I'm going to get started on Mom's meatloaf recipe. So I've washed my hands, and now I'm going to preheat the oven to 350. All right, the oven's preheated. And next, I'm going to take my baking pan and my olive oil spray, and I'm going to generously coat my baking pan with the olive oil spray. Just get around to the sides and the bottom so you can see it's nicely coated. And I'm just going to sit this back here until we're ready to put the meatloaf in. All right, and the next step is that you need a giant bowl, a very large bowl, and I'm going to put all of the ingredients in here. So to start, we need our meat. So I'm going to get that out of the refrigerator. This recipe calls for 1 pound of ground beef and 1 pound of pork sausage. Now I have both of those here in packaging, and I did wash the packaging earlier with some soap and water, and I'm going to go ahead and take my kitchen scissors and open up the packages. And I'm placing the ground beef in the bowl. And now I'm going to open up the sausage. And place that in the bowl as well. Like I said, you're going to be using your hands a lot for this recipe, so you have to make sure they're nice and clean. So there's the empty wrap from the sausage. I'm going to throw these in the trash. And now I'm going to wash my hands again because they have raw meat on them. Because now I need to add the other ingredients to make this meatloaf yummy. I'm gonna wash that man right out of my hair. I'm gonna wash that man right out of my hair. I'm gonna wash that man right out of my hair and send him on his way. All right. Hands are getting nice and clean. All right. I'm gonna dry them off with some paper towels. And I'm going to bring the camera down to the bowl so you can see what's happening here. Hopefully you can see it. All right. So we've got our ground beef from a local farmer, by the way. A friend of my husband's provided this for us. And then we also have the pork sausage. And now I'm going to add all of the ingredients. To start, we have 2 eggs. And I'm going to rinse my hands off again. Okay. And now we're just going to put a dash of Worcestershire sauce in. And ketchup, which is a very important ingredient for this recipe. And it calls for a 1/4 cup of ketchup. So I just kind of guesstimate, just squirt a little bit in there. And this is something that I added to the original recipe. I did this one time and my daughters loved it. It was delicious. So I add just a little bit of barbecue sauce. Whatever barbecue sauce you have in the refrigerator is fine, but it just adds like a little sweet, smoky taste to it, which I love. All right, and next we have, oh, oatmeal, or oats, I should say. Now the oats, you need a half a cup. So I'm going to measure that out. And the oats and the eggs are kind of what binds this all together. So when you bake it, that's what makes it more like a loaf. So it all sticks together. And next we need, another important ingredient, is a green pepper. So I'm going to clean this off. And I'll bring the camera back up. Hello, hello, it's me again. I just need to cut up this green pepper. We're going to dice it up so that, let me find my knife here, so that it's cut into small pieces. And we just need to cut out the center and all of those seeds and everything in the middle that you do not want to eat. You don't want that in your meatloaf. So I'm just cutting all of that out. All those little white membranes, you don't want those in there. Hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? Hey Lois, how are you? Lois is my karaoke buddy at the center. I wish you were here singing with me. Woohoo! Yes, we are having meatloaf. I'm just cutting the green peppers now, which makes it delicious. Getting out all those seeds and membranes. And then we're gonna dice this into smaller pieces so we can add it to our meatloaf. Be very careful that you don't cut your fingers. This is a very sharp knife. All right, I'm just going to take this little pile, dump it right in there. Got a little bit more to cut up here. Bring them all together. Dice them into smaller pieces. Okay. One more little piece here. Oh, we got Scottsville Community Senior Center on board. Thanks for joining us. I'm just putting together my mom's meatloaf recipe. All right, so we just added the green peppers, and the next yummy ingredient is a half a white onion, okay? So I'm just gonna slice this open, cut it in half, get rid of those peels over there. I'll save this half for another recipe. And then I'm just going to rinse this onion off. And just like with the green peppers, I'm going to dice it into smaller pieces. And be careful that you don't slice your finger. I remember when I was in college, I worked at a bagel shop. And I had to make sandwiches in front of the customers at a window. And you guessed it, I sliced my finger in front of the crowd, and there was blood gushing all over the sandwich. That was not one of my most proud moments. So, be careful with the knife. All right, Emily has just joined us. Welcome, welcome, Emily. So good to see you with us. Just doing my mom's meatloaf. And it is a gorgeous day outside today. So I hope that all of you have had the opportunity to get out and do some walking maybe, or get some fresh air, or just open your windows. It's gorgeous. It's even a little warm outside. So anyway, makes me think of a song. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer due. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. It won't be a stylish marriage, I can't afford a carriage, but you'll look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle built for two. Just kind of reminds me of spring when I sing that. So anyway, back to the meatloaf. I would do anything for love. I want some meatloaf. All right, that was another Meatloaf song. All right, there is the mixture, as you can see in front of you, okay? So we've got the onions, the peppers, the eggs, the oats, sausage, ground beef, and now let's add some seasonings. Garlic powder. This is one of my favorites, so I like to be a little generous with this. Just sprinkle it all around. All around. Just make sure you have your breath mints after you have dinner. Okay, and now we're going to add some pepper. A nice generous amount of pepper. And some sea salt. And I don't like to go heavy with the salt at first. I'd rather that, you know, you just season your food the way you like it. So if you want to add some more salt, you can do that. Because I just don't like too much salt in my food. And this has such wonderful natural flavors already. All right, I've just rinsed my hands off, and guess what's next? We're gonna get deep and dirty into this. Can you see it? All right, I gotta take my rings off for this. All right, these are the best tools you can use when making meatloaf. Here it goes. Squish, 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 splish, splash, splish, splash. There goes the eggs. Everything is just mixing in there. Splish, splash, I was taking a bath. All about a Saturday night. Rub-a-dub, just relaxing in the tub, thinking everything was alright. Well, I stepped out the tub, put my feet on the floor, wrapped the towel around me, and I opened the door, and then a splish splash. Okay, maybe not. All right, as you can see, everything is getting incorporated into this meatloaf mixture. And yes, it is messy, but it's fun. And you know what? If you have little kids at home, this would be so much fun for them. They love all this messiness. Just scrunch it all in there and get it nice and mixed in. All right. Scrape the sides off. You've got all those little pieces of onions and peppers that want to get in there. And you're just making a nice big blob of meat. All right, so it's just about time to get this into the pan. So I'm gonna wash my hands again because we need to get the sauce in the pan prepared. All right, my hands are nice and clean. This is the one thing about working in the kitchen. You know your hands are always clean. You always have to clean them. All right, so next we're on to the sauce part of it, okay? And this is very simple. This is a Hunt's tomato sauce, okay? You are more than welcome to use your own homemade tomato sauce recipe, but this is what my mother used, and this is what I've always used. So I'm gonna open this up. All right, so we have our tomato sauce open. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour some on the bottom of the pan just to get a little layer on the bottom. And then we're going to put the meat on top of that, okay? So hopefully I don't drop anything, but I'll show you what I'm doing here. So I'm just pouring it in the bottom. And then you can just kind of spread it all around like that. And remember earlier in this segment, I had sprayed this pan with non-stick olive oil spray. So we'll set that over there. And we still have more tomato sauce left, so I'll show you what to do with that in just a minute. Okay, I'm gonna have to get my hands dirty again. Oh boy. All right, let me throw away some of this stuff. All right, I'm gonna put my pan here so you can see. And I don't have a full screen today for some reason, so I'm hoping that you're seeing all of this. Okay, let's see if anybody's commented. Okay, got it, Lois. Okay, hi Sandra. Thanks for chiming in. So I'm just at the point now where I've gotten all of my meatloaf ingredients all mixed up in my bowl. And now is the fun part. You get to take it out and shape it into a loaf and put it in the pan on top of the tomato sauce, okay? So I'm going to take this out. And remember, we put eggs and oatmeal in it, so it binds it all together. And I'm just going to scrape all of this goodness out of here. All this yummy stuff, okay? And you can tweak this any way you want, just like with any recipe. You know, if you want less onions or less peppers, that's fine. I think it seasons it really well, so that's why I do it. I'm going to put this in the sink to clean. And as you can see, it's kind of a nice shape there. That looks like a loaf to me. Just bring the sides in a little. Okay. All right, so that looks like a nice loaf. And if you want to have fun with it, you know, depending on the occasion, you can make a special shape out of it. Like if you're celebrating Super Bowl, you can shape it like a football and just pat mashed potatoes on top of it, and then just use vegetables to kind of make it look like the strings and the sewing on the football. But you know, whatever you want to create, and just have fun with it. All right, now the next thing I do, and this is the tip that my mother always gave me, was you take your finger and you want to poke 3 holes, not all the way down to the bottom, but almost. 3 holes. And then we're going to take some more sauce and we're going to pour more sauce on top. And it's going to go down in those holes and it's going to cook inside the meat. And you can just coat the whole thing and just save some of the sauce. Sometimes, you know, when it's finished, you might want to add some more sauce to it once it's cooked. Just heat that up and just pour it over, okay? And at this point, you can also season it any way you'd like. If you wanted to add some more salt and pepper on top, or garlic salt. Sometimes I've even sprinkled Parmesan cheese on it just to give it an extra piece of flavoring. So I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands. All right. And believe it or not, that's it. That's all you have to do. And dinner is done, okay? So I preheated the oven to 350 when we first started, so the oven is all ready. So I have this on the middle rack, and I'm gonna go ahead and place this in the oven. Okay, and we're gonna set the timer for 1 hour. All right, so we're all set for 1 hour. And what you want to do when the timer goes off, obviously take it out of the oven and just test it for doneness, because ovens vary. You know, yours may cook faster than mine or not. But anyway, just put in a meat thermometer and make sure that it's finished, because you don't want raw meat in the middle of your meatloaf. Once it's finished, you can just let it settle for a bit. And we always had mashed potatoes and succotash as a side dish with this, which is delicious. And the succotash is basically a combination of lima beans and corn. So I just mix those together and put some salt and pepper and some butter and just toss it all up. And then we have the mashed potatoes on the side. And if you want to make homemade mashed potatoes, I know we all have time. You can do that, which is delicious. My mother always made them homemade, but of course now they have other things in the grocery store, like you can get them frozen or you can get them in the refrigerated section, which is delicious too. So feel free to have that with the mashed potatoes and the succotash, or whatever your favorite vegetables are, whatever you choose. But that's what we're going to be having for dinner tonight, I can tell you that much. And we're excited. Woohoo! Meatloaf! All right, Lois, I promise I won't sing another Meatloaf song. Okay. Are there any requests for songs out there? Anything anybody wants me to sing? If you want to just type it in and I'll let you know if I know it. Let's see, we got, oh, look who's, oh, hello, everybody. We've got a good group here. Yay! Okay, so I guess I'll just keep this short and sweet. and just remind you again at home, all of our members and our families, staff members, that we miss you. We wish we could all be together, but this is better than nothing. And we're going to try to keep up these activities on the Facebook page. We have been talking to some of our volunteers that want to come on live and do some volunteer activities as well. So we hope that you will stay in touch. If you can, try to check the page every day and see what's new and exciting. Okay? So, on that note, I am going to sing you a farewell. I'm so glad we've had this time together, just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just get started, and before you know it, it's time to say so long. So long, everybody.